In today's quick video, I want to go over why you should try using center and symmetrical framing in your photography work, and also why I've been using it more in my video work. Most people, when they're first taught photography, they are taught the rule of thirds. And the rule of thirds is basically this invisible grid line structure of horizontal and vertical lines, and it creates 9 perfect squares out of 2 horizontal and 2 vertical lines. And you want to try and aim your subject at these intersecting cross lines where the horizontal and vertical lines meet. And the reason for this is it's pleasing to the viewer and could add some harmony and context to the image. But some photographers overuse the rule of thirds, and that's all they do. And I see it a lot in movies. I think sometimes you should try to break away from the rule of thirds and experiment with different angles and perspectives and framing, such as center and symmetrical framing. I want to go over a few examples from my own photography work. This first image is of Mistress Ava, and we shot this at Isabella Sinclair's dungeon in Los Angeles when she still had it there. As you can see, Mistress Ava is posing in a very symmetrical fashion, and the composition of the photograph is center framed. And this next example, this is of Rubber Doll. And this was shot at a bar in Clear Lake. And similarly to Mistress Ava, she is center framed and she's posing in a symmetrical fashion. This next image is of Chloe Manson, and she's again center framed, and there's some symmetry to this image. And in this final example, this is of Brittany, my wife. This was shot for a flyer for a Fetish ball event. And there's a symmetry to this image. One of my favorite directors is Stanley Kubrick, and I've been going back and watching all his films and studying them. And he's known for one-point perspective a lot in his movies. And I started to realize over time how much he used center framing in his movies, primarily in The Shining and also in Eyes Wide Shut. If you go back and look at The Shining, you can see that most of the actors, especially when it's just a solo scene, are in the center of the frame. And when there's more than one person, they are posed in a way that they're framed in a symmetrical fashion. Also, George Miller, who directed the Mad Max series, he used center framing a lot in Mad Max Fury Road. If you go back and look at that movie, pretty much almost every shot, the action or the actors are in the center of the frame. And I think one of the reasons why Kubrick and George Miller do this is this allows a viewer to focus on one point with their eyes, so they're not scanning the screen trying to figure out what they should be focusing on. And it helps with a quick succession of shots, at least in George Miller's case for Mad Max. That way it's easier to pay attention to the action. I think Kubrick mainly uses this as a way of showing order in his movies and also creating a sense of unease, because the viewer is mainly used to the rule of thirds framing, so they can't quite figure out what's different about his movie. I've started to use center framing more in my video work, especially for video interviews and documentary, for the same reasons, so the viewer's eye point, their eye line, can focus on a single point and they don't have to search the screen to see where their eye should be focused on. And again, I think this is something you should try and experiment with, just to break up your photography and compositional framing in your photographs. If you liked this video or you found any value in it, please like and subscribe to my channel. I'm trying to grow it, and I appreciate all the support. Thank you.